Greetings and welcome, my League of Eagles. Woohoo! Eagles, you are Eagles. Welcome to Leaders in Light, Love, and Legacy. This is your sacred space where presence meets purpose and where your inner truth is refined into visible leadership, because that's what we're all about here in the divine, feminine, and masculine aligned. I am Joy Ruffen, and each week we gather to elevate the way you show up in the world through your authentic confidence, intentional style, and leadership that leaves a lasting legacy. It's more than a conversation. It is an awakening, a refinement, a return to who you truly are at your core. So I'm asking you to join me every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, where we will be streaming on my website, joyruffen.com, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. And what are we going to talk about today? Well, we are in the month of June. I know, it's hard to believe. So what is the theme? It's your light reimagined. I love that, reimagined. Because aren't we all revisiting, redesigning, everything? Indeed we are. Today, my featured guest speaker is all about, she labels herself a beauty enthusiast, Samantha Wyland. She helps women over 40 to embrace the spotlight. Her background is never ending, but I'm going to ask her to share a little bit with you before I go into asking her a lot of questions about how she came to be a beauty enthusiast. I know her as Samantha. I've known her for quite a while. She's a dear heart because she's genuine, sincere, and true. Now, her maiden name is Kempton, but she goes by Samantha Kempton, married name Wyland. So you're going to be able to find her everywhere. Samantha, hello and welcome, and thank you for your patience and your grace. Greetings.
Hi, Joy. Always nice to be with you. Thank you for the lovely introduction.
Well, thank you for being here and your patience and grace, which we know about, but we won't bring into the conversation here and now. I love your new, and it's somewhat new, and we're always constantly changing title, a beauty enthusiast. So I know a little bit about your background, but we have a new global audience out here. So share with us a little bit about what you were doing when you began many, hopefully lovely moons ago, what you're doing now, and how they align.
I've always had an interest in beauty. It started, or anti-aging. It started when I was very young. My mother was very enthusiastic about anti-aging as well. So her and I were always on a quest to find the newest, latest thing. And I taught ballet for more than 20 years. And I choreographed and I directed and I built sets and designed costumes. And I taught makeup workshops every year for the Nutcracker. There's actually still a video on YouTube. I don't recommend watching it. And I went on to work for a high-end portrait studio where I designed portraits for my clients all over the country and coordinated their clothing, their lighting, their background, different things to sort of highlight their personalities and their true self.
Well, I use the right verbiage when I said extensive. It is an extensive and well-rounded background, and I do love it. And you were mentioning when you started off the word that's forever present and in the stratosphere today. And I'm always aligned and in tune with it, not because of the season of life that I'm in, and anti-aging, because when it comes to cosmetics and makeup and skincare, that plays heavily today. It always did, but more so because anti-aging is just everywhere. So when you say you're a beauty, and I love your background, and by the way, I love ballet and the Nutcracker. Oh, I remember. But you said don't watch it. Well, now you make me want to watch it. The one that you were in. But tell us, I know that it started way back, but then it really began to surface again big time when you began to play and be with your mom So tell us how your mom and you shared this love for skincare and makeup. Tell us how that came about and what it did for you in that time of season of your life.
So it actually started when I was 18. I was in an accident that left me with some facial paralysis.
Mm.
It did improve over time, but she was determined to find something that would kind of mask the effects of what had happened. And then she would come along for the ride and, have a chin lift or, an eyebrow lift or something. Especially around before my sister's wedding, we went somewhere and I had a lip filler, I had Botox. I looked amazing. It cost a fortune, and they told me that it would last for 6 months, and I believe it lasted about 8 weeks, maybe. So I kind of stopped with the whole cosmetic surgery idea way back when I was 18. But she continued on her mission, and eventually she became ill and was having a lot of issues with her legs. So she spent a lot of time in bed, and so she couldn't go out to the store and go shopping. So she would shop off of her TV, either QVC or Home Shopping Network. And she had retired from work, and I live very close, and she would call me up and she would say, "Hey dear, it's me." Usually leave me a voicemail. "Hey dear, it's me. I got something from HSN, and I don't really like it, so why don't you come over, or I'll leave it in my mailbox. You can come and pick it up." So that's sort of how we spent the last few years of her life, just going back and forth with, and that was not obviously the only things that we talked about, but going back and forth with different beauty products. And I have a lot of things that she gave me that I cherish, and I shared a lot of things with her, and she ended up loving one of the moisturizers that I love so much. So I even brought it to the hospital one time when she was at the very end of excuse me at the very end of her life. She was very, very ill, and I brought the moisturizer with me and put it on her face, and just to give her, she was obviously very dry, she was very dehydrated, and kind of just give her a little sense of having some smooth, plumper skin.
Thank you, Samantha, for sharing. And that was sweet and endearing of you. And I could feel and sense somewhat of the hesitation. But the reality is that as close and impactful and meaningful stuff is to us, it's wonderful and kind of a release somewhat sometimes to share it. I love that you said, let me be sure that I heard what you said, that you started all of this more or less. Did you say after an accident? At 18, what type of accident? Was it a car accident?
Jet ski.
A jet ski accident. And what I heard, and oh my goodness, jet skiing, all of that, I can understand that. You mentioned a couple of things that I want to speak a little bit more about, because you mentioned something, I think you said, correct me if I'm wrong, that you did, I don't know if you said you did it or you were inquiring about it. A chin lift, an eyebrow lift, a lip filler, and Botox, and all of that. And you said something lasted for only about 8 weeks, and then you decided to explore your own kind of discovery. Did I hear somewhat correct about that?
Sure. So my mom and I would go to different doctors, and I would get one thing done and she would get something else done.
Okay, got it. Yes. So you did a lip filler.
I did.
Good for you. And you said it lasted about 8 weeks.
Yes.
And then after that, I think I heard you said Botox, and you just decided, I've had enough of this. I'm going to explore and discover for myself what's going to work best for me.
I really decided for myself that I had to just move on.
Yes. That I get. Let me ask you something, though, because the beauty industry is humongous. I just recently, because I worked as a freelance makeup artist traveling all over the States for a while there, and I know what's involved. At this point in time, I don't do any of it because I don't have the time. Because if you don't do it right, and if it's not applied where it really accentuates and enhances, it doesn't. And now it seems that so much is exaggerated. In your exploring and discovery and whatever, there's nothing wrong with adorning and enhancing ourselves. But what are some key target things that you found about how to apply makeup, And I know you're going to tell me you're not an expert, neither am I, but I do have my knowing. I do know when it's right. And texture and skin and moisturizers you mentioned for your mother because she was very dry. What have you discovered for yourself? Because people out there will want to know as they explore for themselves and hopefully get to you. And I don't know if you have a website, but you have to share with people where they and how they can touch base with you if they want more information. But share with us some of the exploration that you did on your own and with your mom, and what are some of the pivotal, powerful keynotes that you came up with that you can share with other people?
Sure. So I have been trying to fake my makeup for a very long time since I was
Mm-hmm.
a teenager. I have my right eye, the lid is much droopier than the left eye.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to do things to try to make the left eye look bigger and the right eye look smaller. That included, how we all learned back in 1995, you put the light color all over your lid, then you put the medium tone up to the eyebrow, then you put the darker tone in the crease.
Right.
Well, when I put the darker tone in the crease, it got lost in the baggage.
Ah.
I had to put it above on my brow bone, more towards my brow bone, and then fake my eyebrows to make my right eyebrow look higher and my right eyebrow look lower.
That's good camouflage. It's not that you're doing the old back cover up completely, but you are making it more appealing, not only to you, but to others. And Samantha, thank you for sharing. Well, that's what you would do anyway. I know your honesty, because I have eye issues as well. And one of the reasons that when I do broadcasts and all that, I wear dark light because I have very sensitive eyes, and I have my right eye, the pupil, it doesn't dilate. So with the lights and everything, if I don't have dark glasses on, it can look horrific. And then that I'm vain in a good way. I do exactly what you're doing. I find ways, and glasses for me help. So I get that. But how did you explored, you experimented until you found the right way when you need to have the balance and unity in your eyes so that you focus and people see where they look more or less the same. Is that what I'm hearing?
That was my goal. Now, of course, we're always our own worst critic. So
Exactly.
I always notice one eye is bigger than the other way more than anyone else on the planet does. So, it's more just for my own, just because I wanted to know what I would look like had I not been in the accident.
Yes.
And then essentially, I thought to myself, you were in this accident. And obviously, as I got older and gravity takes effect, as it does with all of us, it became more and more difficult to hide the differences. And decided to stop trying to hide them and just to enhance my features in a way that drew the attention and the focus in an upward lifted direction. And that's the key to really looking younger and healthier, is the direction and the consistency of the makeup, the texture.
Yes. And I love the way you explain that, because when we talk about, and you shared with us, and thank you for that sharing about your right eye, and I shared a wee bit about me. This month, we're talking about how your light, how you reimagine it, how you redesign or enhance it in a way that is more appealing, and how you do that. It's going to be different for everybody, but you find a way. And you started off by saying fake. There's so much fakery out here now that's why I celebrate and applaud what you're doing. Well, first of all, I don't know many women who aren't enthralled and mesmerized and captivated by the beauty industry, because beauty is in everything, but our traditional way of seeing it, that ideal way, has been it's really confusing for many. I love what you're doing here. When it comes to, you mentioned a little bit about texture and moisturizers. What have you found that for you, and I know again, I do repeat myself, but what have you found that's good for some of the best skincare for those of us who are aging or aged or seasoned in life, contingent upon the type of skin we have?
So I stumbled upon this company called The Ordinary accidentally. My insurance, I was getting Botox for a little while because of the aging, the gravity, and the baggage and the saggage, and then
Okay.
my insurance company wouldn't cover it anymore.
Uh-huh.
So instead of costing me $60, it would have cost me 200 and something every 6 months. So I thought, okay, we're going to have to find a different solution. So I actually Googled liquid Botox, and this company, The Ordinary, came up. I'd never heard of them. They don't have any affiliates, so I get nothing for promoting them. No one gets anything for promoting them. Their products are very affordable. They're highly, highly concentrated. They don't do any advertising. I have seen a few small advertisements on Facebook since I started using it, but they have no celebrity endorsements, no big splashy billboards or magazine covers. And
I love it.
I love that you can go and you can take a quiz, a beauty quiz, and then you put in your areas of concern, what you're looking to improve, and they spit out a list of products that are recommended for you. And I really like it. I mean, I definitely notice a difference, and I do mix it up sometimes. Like I have this one serum that I like that has copper peptides in it, multi-peptide copper serum, and I love that. Sometimes I switch it out with a concentrated vitamin C serum that protects the skin from the aging process. So every time I go in there to buy my favorite moisturizer of all times, which has natural factors, hydration formula. This is the one that my mother fell in love with. I never go anywhere without it. Unfortunately, it got left in a lot of hospitals and nursing homes around the area. But luckily, it's not that expensive, so I was able to replace it. And that's the thing. There's no fancy packaging. There's no fancy advertising. So the cost is so affordable. And my products arrive within 3 or 4 days. I added this one to my regimen. I have to get a magnifying glass to see, but it's Volulift. And it plumps. It's a plumping serum. I think you'd have to be a scientist to actually know what's in here, but it's nothing. Well, I don't have any kind of reactions to it. When I put it on, my face feels plump. Love it, love it, love it. My other love is the Rock Under Eye Balm. A lot of times when you put on concealer, especially as we get older, you may have some lines underneath, and the concealer or moisture. I'm gonna do that.
Well, to interject and to cut you off there a little bit, apologies for that, but you're getting me excited about some of the products that you're talking about and how you're explaining them. So let's back up a wee bit. First off, I love it that you qualified for me always, and for those who are tuning in and listening now and those who will come later, that you're not an expert, but you do have your expertise in what you attempted. I hope you have an affiliate link or some type of link for this product, because I love the name, the products, The Ordinary, because really very few people want to be ordinary, but yet that name for products that are simplistic and clean and are supportive the way that you're explaining it is great, because you started off by saying no one wants to be, and especially in certain seasons of life, baggy, saggy, and flabby, whatever that means to the individual. So that said, already I'm enthused. I don't have those issues yet because I take care of this vessel, but I know how it can be. So I love it that you're explaining this, and the name of the company, they're going to get kudos for this, and you don't get anything. So I don't know how you're working with that, but it sounds like this is a company that has afforded you a lot of insights that you are in complete cahoots with, because you know that they work, and you said they're clean. So I like that. Yes. Now, you mentioned briefly there, talk about it a wee bit more quick, because I'm going to remember that name, The Ordinary. That's the name of the company. And as soon as I get a moment or time, I will Google it to find out more. And if I had your link before I ordered anything, I would use that. But that's something for you to consider. What about quick fix products that works in minutes? Now, we've all seen these, what is this product that's on, I don't watch TV as much as I listen to it, this quick fix for bags under the eyes. You put it on in 2 seconds, it clears, blah, blah, blah. What are some of your quick fix products that you have found works like in seconds, minutes?
So funny, this also was inspired by my mother. One of her major pet peeves was her under eye puffiness, and she actually went to a plastic surgeon, and they said the only way to do it really is to have surgery because
Mm.
it builds up underneath the eye, especially when you're not hydrated enough. You're not drinking enough water. My mom didn't drink water, Diet Pepsi. So don't recommend drinking Diet Pepsi all day.
Not all day. Mm-mm.
So I saw a woman that I follow on Facebook recommended this Revitalift eye bag instant eraser.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered it from Amazon, and I can send my Amazon link for that if anyone is interested. This way I get a teeny little bit of credit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you take a dime size amount of the product on top of your makeup. You tap it where you're bagging or sagging or puffing, and keep a still face for 15 minutes, which is very, very hard to do. I just try not to squeeze my eyes shut very tight for 15 minutes, but I still have to yell.
Mm-hmm.
I yell out about every 5 minutes. So then within 15 minutes, I can feel, I only did my left eye because it was looking kind of puffy, but I definitely feel the tightness. When I blink, I almost feel like I've gotten Botox.
You know, let me just back up a moment and give kudos, and only the way that I can do it, sincere. I know that your mother is not with us anymore, but she is in your heart. That you were so inspired by your mother. I know, what was this? We're in June, but back in May, that was a day to celebrate mothers. But mothers need to be celebrated every day, every second. Even my mom, who was more narcissistic than any mother you're ever going to meet, but you grow and you evolve and you begin to understand things. So kudos to all mothers out there, even though we're way past Mother's Day. But Samantha, before we go any further, you're giving out some good, potent information. But how do people connect with you? I know now in social media with your name, Samantha Kempton Wyland, and the difference, one or the other, Wyland or Kempton, they can find you. What other ways can people connect with you to get more information and find out more about you?
Through my email.
Your email, okay.
Your Best Life by Samantha at gmail.com.
I like that. And I like that it's so easy. Your Best Life. Let's say it again.
By Samantha.
By Samantha. Okay.
No.
At gmail.com.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's a nice, easy one to remember. And then hopefully we can put that on your poster. Your Best Life by Samantha at gmail.com, because that's how they're going to connect with you. And you can hopefully make some connection with their meaningful, impactful. Okay, everyone, more or less, and I've never been fond of everyone, everybody, anybody, anyone. I'm more interested in somebody, the individualistic person. That's who we're evolving to be. And I'm saying all of this to say everybody's talking about anti-aging and how you go about it, and feeling good on the inside that portrays and projects on the outside. So tell us some of the things that you have discovered about what that means to you, feeling better on the inside so it shows on the outside.
Well, I think that they're definitely connected. Being that my mother was so sick for so long, and I was, taking care of her, and we were trying different products together, I really went on a quest to find ways to help women that may be suffering from maybe they had chemotherapy, maybe they no longer have eyebrows, maybe they have an autoimmune disease, maybe they just have a teenager and they're super stressed. I think I've said this before, but women don't wear their heart on their sleeve. They wear it on their face.
I love that expression. I think you mentioned that to me once before, and I asked you if I could take it or copy it, because I don't like to copy or imitate anything, but that I love, because I don't think I've ever heard that anywhere before. And it's so profound. I'd love for you to say it one more time. Women
do not wear their heart on their sleeve. They wear it on their face.
Ooh. That is so powerful. Now for me, for the work that I'm doing and the work that you're doing, and share with you briefly why. But you mentioned some of the things that you're able to support people with and quick fixes and so on. And you mentioned no eyebrows. Well, I haven't had eyebrows in so long. And even with the eye condition that I have, that's another reason why I wear glasses, to cover up my brows, because I don't have any brows. But it doesn't bother me, but it bothers some people. And I get that. And especially now with the 20 pair of false eyelashes on and all of that. So tell us a little bit more about how you help and support women who vain is good. It's so you don't want it to turn into narcissistic behavior, which is what happens with many women, especially in the different seasons of life as time goes by. So what are some of the other means that you help them and support them to understand how to apply and do it in a way that's as natural as it can be in its projection and its appearance?
So there's many factors. A lot of it is texture. If you're using powder and you have, obviously you have wrinkles, you have some baggage, you have some saggage, that powder is just going to get stuck in all the business. So I always opt for cream. I use a cream blush. I use cream eyeshadow. Mm-hmm. The placement, everything, instead of doing everything the way that we were taught originally, suck in your cheeks, I need a minute.
Yes.
Suck in your cheeks and put your accents powder here in the hole, and then smile and put the blush on the apples of your cheeks. And all that does is just draw the attention straight in and down. So you use when you do your blush, you start from the center of the eyeball, a little bit higher up on the apple, and then stop at the temple. And I use an angled brush so that it's guaranteed that I'm getting that angle, that V sort of look, rather than that bringing everything closer to my face, to my nose, to my baggage. Everything is very lifted. And my contour, which is the word I couldn't think of before, I use on my forehead, which is very large, down into my temples, to draw the attention more to my lifted cheeks. And I also do along my jawline to enhance that. The rule of makeup is very much like clothing. If you want something to look larger, you want it to be lighter. If you want something to look smaller, it needs to be darker. The only exceptions to that rule is the under eye concealer.
Ah, Samantha. I need to be in a movie with you, because what you just ended with is beyond, in my humble opinion, brilliant. Because you said a lot of everything that we were taught about how to apply makeup when it comes to the contouring and the lifting, contingent upon what you're dealing with. You didn't say it, but I am. It's a little bit old hat. I know from a lot of things that I was taught back in the day. And for me, the same thing applies for fashion. Because anything that's trendy, popular, pretty, trendy, and new, if it doesn't fit you and you don't know how to wear it for your body, then you're not going to ever have style that is commanding of your presence, that's polished. Now, you mentioned a lot about contouring. You didn't, but a lot. But lifting and contouring and the way that you do that. I think a lot of us back in the day, and even now maybe, I don't know, are taught about how, and you mentioned cream, which is a little bit better than some of the other products, types of products that you can use. So you have the flavor for what needs to be here and now. My only concern for you, and not a concern, it's a good one, is how are people going to again get to you to learn a little bit more if they're dealing with some of the things that you mentioned that can be chemo and all the other things, if there's a sickness or something. You're thinking about all the things like your mother that you can do to support them to make it more natural looking for them. How and what else can you share with us before we say so long for now? Because I'm blown away by all of this information that you're sharing, because I kind of knew it, but it's always good to hear it from another voice and to have it embodied within you as you take it in. Yes.
So if you want more information or you want to connect with me, I'm happy to do a free consultation. Shoot me an email. I know we said before, yourbestlifebysamantha@gmail.com, and I will get right back to you. We'll set up a Zoom. We'll chit chat about some things. I can recommend some products. And if I have a link, I can go ahead and send it to you. So we talked about eyes. We talked about cheeks. Let's talk about lips. So
yes, big lip. Woo-hoo.
Yep. If you are lining your lips all the way around
Yes.
to the corner, and now you're over 40, those corners are not as lifted as they used to be. So when you line your lips, it's almost like you're making a heart. So you're avoiding the corners. You're going to line the lip slightly outside the lip line. You could fake it, no one's going to know. And then fill in with your lipstick and avoid the corners. And that will give your lips a much more lifted look to go along with your fully lifted face. And I want to just throw one quick thing in there. We didn't talk about this.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to say burgundy is the new black. I think I saw an advertisement somewhere, probably on Facebook, because that's where I live. Like I said, things that are darker are going to look smaller. Things that are lighter are going to look larger. So instead of using black mascara, I went out and I bought myself some burgundy mascara. So it's not that harsh black eyelash tarantula look. And because my eyes are hazel, it complements my eyes. So I'm over black mascara. I'm all about burgundy mascara. I also have burgundy eyeliner. I don't do a lot of eyeliner at this age anymore. I feel it's just, the juice ain't worth the squeeze anymore.
Samantha, I'm laughing in love because you're leaving me and those who are tuning in with all the information, but 3 salient points that I'm going to mention in the closing. In the meantime, I cannot tell you how I'm celebrating what you're doing now, because I know it's needed. Not because of the season of life that I'm in, because I have this deep sense of aesthetics and I know when it's right. And yet it's no dispersion or blame or judgment. And that's what you're doing. You're helping and supporting women who want to know more, like your mother did. And again, I never met your mother, but she's already in my heart because how she inspired you to continue with this. Any parting words, any salient points of wisdom? You've given us so much that you want to leave us with. Anything you want the audience, other than your email, which is yourbestlifebysamantha@gmail.com. That's how they're going to connect with you. Anything else you want to say before I close out the show for today?
Absolutely. So this is definitely not a pitch for makeup and skincare products. It's really about an emotional uplift. So for me, when I feel like I look healthy, I feel healthier. And when you show up as your best self, all of us, you also light up other people. Even when I do Zooms, even doing this radio show right now, I did my hair, I did my makeup, nobody can see me, I have no idea what I look like. But in order to sound confident and feel confident, you got to walk the walk, talk the talk. So I'm saying that what you can do with your face can uplift your mood and your spirits and help reduce some of that inner pain or physical pain or illness that you may be feeling.
Samantha, you are leaving us with so much wisdom and love, and thank you for sharing. Just stay put while I end the show, but I am absolutely blown away with all the things that you share, and it's an arena that I'm familiar with. And as we close today, my League of Eagles, this is Joy's Radio, Leaders in Light, Love, and Legacy. Remember exactly, in a different verbiage, what Samantha left us with. Your presence is not something you perform. It's something you embody. And when your outer expression is aligned with inner truth, yours, you don't just enter rooms, you shift them. You command the energy in that room, silently and beautifully. So if this conversation spoke to you, I invite you to continue this journey with me. Explore more episodes and step deeper into your own leadership presence. Samantha gave us a lot of love and wisdom and knowing today, somewhat all one and the same when they're aligned and connected. But here are the three that I want you to really think about. Give it, my favorite expression, give it some food for thought. In fact, give it a lot of food for thought. Women, we as women do not wear our hearts on our sleeves. We wear the heart, because it shows, remember, emotions rule the world, on our faces. She also said that burgundy is the new black. Now, she was alluding and mentioning it as far as eyeliners and so on, but it's also as far as colors, because a lot of women, depending on your coloration and everything else, cannot wear black the way many of us were taught that black is the all everything color. And the third thing she left us with, which I discovered for a lot of different reasons, share with you one-on-one at another time: lips. Avoid the corners when you're outlining the lips. Makes a big, big difference. So she brought to us a lot of pearls of wisdom that you are going to benefit by. Join me again next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, on my website, YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. And whatever you do, don't do what I do often. Oh, I'm so guilty, but don't you be, because I feel guilty and then I go back and make a correction most times. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, to this podcast. Like, comment, and share with others who you think would benefit by it. And whatever you do, no matter what the situation is, keep smiling, because life is always not easy, but it is beautiful. Until then, until we connect the next time, stand in your truth, elevate your presence, which is a lot of what Samantha spoke with us today about. Own the spotlight, but do it with grace, honor, and humility, and humor. And once again, the theme, we spoke to it in a different way, but it still applies. Your light, reimagined. So many ways to do that. My League of Eagles, with love and light, I leave you much love from my heart to yours. All the best. Be and stay well. Cheers.